Live from the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center in San Antonio, Texas, this is Bunker Bob Steinhagen coming back to you for a morning report and to kind of give you an idea of what's happening here at the state convention. And there's a lot going on today, Wednesday. So Monday and Tuesday, we had committee meetings that basically were broken into subcommittees, and they were broken into different opportunities for delegates to come and testify for their platform planks. I was one of those who came and testified on Monday. There was criminal and civil justice, constitutional issues, health and human services, national defense, and foreign affairs. And then also in the evening was finance. On Tuesday there was education. Yes, I'm just making sure I'm looking at the right thing. On Tuesday was education, government and election integrity, business, commerce, and transportation, and state affairs. And so what essentially happens on those 2 days is the committees work, then they hear testimony, and basically what the committees are doing is they're looking at all of the submissions that have been brought in from different parts, different congressional and senatorial district caucuses, and they're assembling all of those party planks first to determine whether or not it's in the right subcommittee, and then determining if there's duplicates, trying to merge those duplicates into one cohesive thought or concept, philosophy, if you will. And then they hear testimony, and the testimony basically either supports what the platform planks that they have say, or present new platform planks that the committee has not considered. Now, I can tell you that there is a couple of platform planks. I'll give you an example. One is Texas Open Meetings Act enforcement. Texas Open Meetings Act is really not enforced in the state of Texas very often, but it should be. And the TOMA enforcement wording that was put forth in the previous platform was actually in education and focused on education and Texas Open Meetings Act related to school boards. Problem is, the Texas Open Meetings Act applies to municipalities in addition to school boards. And so, as is in the case of the city of McClendon-Chisholm, for instance, you had a developer go into an executive session of a city council meeting for an hour and 31 minutes, which is in violation of Texas state law, and neither the district attorney or the district attorney had no interest in prosecuting that. And so you have, in this violation, that developer is creating a mud. And there was no debate. There's no open debate. There was the opportunity for open debate. There was opportunity for people to testify, but there was no debate on it. And in Rockwall County, our district attorney didn't have any interest in upholding the Texas Open Meetings Act, and that's what the platform plank is saying. That we have we have the law. The law is in place. The law is good. It just needs to be enforced. And that's the fundamental issue of a lot of things. And it was interesting yesterday, if you saw last night's show, I had 4 incredible, well-spoken women who had a passion for Texas schools. And the way that they view vouchers as an evil, as a bad thing, as growing government. I'm on the other side of that, and we had a great time talking about that, and kind of working through some of the arguments for all of it. And so we all have different points of view, and all agree that we need to have more discussion and try to figure out how best to do it. But one of the points that was made was that they want to see, and I don't disagree with what they're saying. In fact, many times I said, okay, I 100% agree with you. Let's just say I agree with you on this point or that point. The problem is, and I think that, and they saw it, and they agree. So it's not that we were butting heads necessarily in that we were fixated on our positions at all. I felt like they were very open to the discussion. But one of the things they want to do is they want to audit the TEA and to see where fraud is. And I think that's a good thing. The problem is, what good does it do? And my point is, if the judiciary does nothing about it, if there's no enforcement of it, then what does it matter if we are made aware of it? And their point is, well, it will change public opinion. They may be right. And so I have no problem with what they're trying to do. My point is, if we set out more great laws, and one of the women made a great point, we don't need any more legislation. We don't need any more laws. Love that point. It's absolutely right. We don't really need more laws. We just need to enforce the laws that are in existence already, and I agree with them. So ultimately, that's the problem. Are we enforcing laws that are on the books? So all that to say, now I am actually standing in the platform committee room. So you had Monday and Tuesday subcommittees meeting. Now we move to the committee as a whole. And what happens here is the entire committee, they broke up in subcommittees, and those subcommittees were made up of I think around 7 or 8, maybe 9 members of the platform committee for each committee. And each member of the platform committee serves on 2 subcommittees, I believe. Maybe there are a couple that may serve on 3. But ultimately, what's going to happen today and tomorrow is what's called the Committee of the Whole. And what the Committee of the Whole is going to do is they are going to take, at different times, they are going to take different portions of the platform, of those planks. So just like the subcommittees, they're going to take on those parts for a certain amount of time. So to give you an example, they're going to debate and amend criminal and civil justice from 9 to 9:40 as Committee of the Whole. At 9:45 to 10:30, they're going to debate and amend constitutional issues. 10:30 to 11:15, amend national defense and foreign affairs. 11 to 12, finance. 1 to 1:30, health and human services. Government election integrity will be from 1:30 to 2:15. State affairs will be from 2:15 to 3. Education will be from 3 to 3:30. Business and commerce and transportation will be from 3:30 to 4:15. Now, once they go through that, so they're going to be basically pouring through the different things, and they're going to be trying to solidify. And I'm going to tell you, it is the amount of time that the Committee of the Whole is going to try to spend working through this many platform issues is an almost impossibility. What will end up happening is the committees will basically have to move on to the next topic. And so hopefully the chair of the platform committee and the chairs of the subcommittee will highlight the most important issues that are the most controversial, that need the most debate. Sometimes that will happen, sometimes it won't. You can watch all of this if you go to the state party, the Texas State GOP website and go to the convention page. You'll be able to see, there's a link that you can see the debate that's going to be happening starting at 9 this morning. And then public testimony begins at 4:15 to 5:30 regarding Committee of the Whole. 4:15 to 5:30, yes. And then more testimony from 6:30 to 7:30, where each person, I believe, is going to get either 2 or 3 minutes to speak on whatever issue that they wish to speak to. So that will be today. Then tomorrow, on Thursday, the Committee of the Whole will meet again. Now, I'm seeing something here. That's Wednesday. Then Thursday, yeah. So 6:15 to 7 o'clock. This makes no sense, but from 6:15 to 7 p.m., the Committee of the Whole will meet to hear public testimony and rotate by section, time limited. From 6:15 to 7. 45 minutes to receive public testimony. So, in other words, they're going to spend maybe 5 minutes on each section, I guess. And then, yeah, so it's going to basically today is when all of the work gets done. The Committee of the Whole will work probably into the night. They will very likely, that's what's expected, and that's in my experience, and I've served on platform committee. In my experience, we go well into the night. One of the challenges is you got to get it all edited together and things like that, but typically that can happen on Thursday. But Thursday we have a lot of floor issues. So this is when you have those speeches. This is where I get the most tired head, where I hear speech after speech after speech of people saying, "Hey, we're proud to be Republicans." Rah 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 rah. Okay, we're all, and basically it's preaching to the choir, saying things that they know it's just red meat for the lions, and nothing substantive is really talked about. It's just rah rah rah. Who can be the best? Now, honestly, 2 years ago at the state convention, it was actually not a boring convention because Senator John Cornyn came to give his speech, and he just got jeered. I've never seen anything like it in all the years that I have attended state conventions, which has been over 4 decades now. I've never missed a state convention, so every 2 years for over 4 decades, and I have never seen anything like what I saw when John Cornyn hit the stage. So it was eye-opening and frankly a little refreshing to see that the grassroots was tired of the politics as usual from John Cornyn. So maybe we'll see something like that. I know he's scheduled to come speak, is my understanding. And, I actually haven't seen the schedule, but typically the U.S. senators are always going to come and speak at the state convention. But who knows? Maybe not. I know Ted Cruz is going to be here, so that will be good. And, of course, he's going to say things that none of us, that we all agree on. So it's kind of irrelevant, if you will. So we are about 10 minutes away from the beginning of the platform committee. Again, go to the state website and you can see the committee at work. I did want to highlight a couple of other things that are happening here at the convention, and one of those is that State Representative Brian Harrison has presented a reform the House of Representatives and select a real Republican speaker action that has actually got the support of Dade Phelan, who is probably not going to win his reelection, hopefully not. And but I mean, Dade Phelan's just desperate as can be. He has been snubbing his nose at the grassroots for the last 2 years, laughing at us, mocking us, and now he's saying, "Oh, darn, maybe I shouldn't have been such an ass. Maybe I shouldn't have been so arrogant." And he is now reaping what he's sowed. Those of you who live in Beaumont and area, for you to support Dade Phelan is shocking to me. I get that he's a friend of yours. I get you've known him forever. But once you go in the voting booth, you don't have to. You can tell him you voted for him, but don't vote your conscience. Vote what is right, and I think that will be important. The big news that's come out of this convention from the Rules Committee is ultimately that we are going to have. We are moving forward on closed primaries. So that is one of the hot issues That's one of the most important things for a lot of us, people especially like me in Rockwall, where we have 70-something% who voted for Donald Trump and Congressman Pat Phelan. So if you're going to be elected in Rockwall, you have to be a Republican, which means Democrats basically will, on election day, they'll come over and they will vote in the Republican primary to influence our local and state elections. And so we are asking that if you're going to call yourself a Republican, you register as a Republican, and you can't just on election day on a whim, knowing that your vote is irrelevant, won't count if you vote in a Democrat primary, because whoever you elect in a Democrat primary hasn't a snowball's chance in hell of winning. So you cross over so that you can influence and find the most liberal person on the ballot for the office on the Republican side. Since you know you're going to get a Republican, might as well get the most liberal, is what the Democrats want to say. And so that's what they're doing, and they basically have a nationwide strategy to do that. So this is not just far-fetched thinking. This is what happens. And so we're saying, if you're going to call yourself a Republican, register as a Republican. And that'll be interesting to see how many people do that. I'm sure there will be some who will register as Republicans, even though they're not and have nothing in common with the Republican Party. Still, at least they can't do it at the last minute. So that's big news, and we weren't sure that we were going to be able to get that passed. That's kind of the long and short of everything. I hope that's been helpful. So I will be coming back to you today. I may come back to you midday. I don't know. I do know that Brian Harrison has made himself available, so I may be interviewing him. And if I do, I'm going to do it live. And so if you see the Bunker Bob is going live today, it's probably because I've got State Rep Harrison with me. Otherwise, we'll see you this evening and give you a wrap-up of what's happened if you haven't had time to kind of go online and view the proceedings here in the platform committee. There's also the rules committee and some things going on in the rules committee that I may be having to go in and testify on and speak to. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Thanks for being here.